the richest man in Babylon. But all I own is mine to keep, do you not? I demanded. Far from it, he replied. Do you not fear the garment maker? Do you not fear the sandal maker? Do you not fear for the thing you eat? Can you live in Babylon without spending? What have you to show for your earning of the first month? What for the first year? Fool, you pay to everyone but yourself. Dullard, you labor for others. As well, be a slave and work for what your master gives you to eat and wear. If you did keep for yourself 1/10 of all you earn, how much would you have in 10 years? My knowledge of the numbers did not forsake me, and I answered, as much as I earn in 1 year. You speak but half the truth, he retorted. Every gold piece you save is a slave to work for you. Every copper it earns is its child that also can earn for you. If you would become wealthy, then what you save must earn, and its children must earn. That all may help to give to you the abundance you crave. You look, I cheat you for your long life's work, he continued, but I am paying you 1,000 times over if you have the intelligence to grasp the truth I offer you. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. It should be not less than 1/10, no matter how little you earn. It can be as much more as you can afford. Pay yourself first. Do not buy from the clothes maker and the sandal makers more than you can pay out of the rest, and still have enough for food and charity and penance to the gods. Wealth, like the tree, grows from a tiny seed. The first copper you save is the seed from which your tree of wealth shall grow. The sooner you plant that seed, the sooner shall be the tree grow. And the more faithfully you nourish and water the tree with consistent savings, the sooner may you bask in contentment beneath its shade. So saying, he took his tablet and went away. I thought much about what he had said to me, and it seemed reasonable. So I decided that I would try it. Each time I failed, I took one from each 10 pieces of copper and hid it away. And strange as it may seem, I was no shorter of fund than before. I noticed little difference as I managed to get along without it. But often I was tempted, as my hoard began to grow, to spend it for some of the good things the merchant displayed, brought by camel and ships from the land of the Phoenician, but I wisely refrained. 12 months after Algamash had gone, he again returned and said to me, Son, have you paid to yourself not less than 1/10 of all you have earned for the past year? I answered proudly, Yes, master, I have. That's good, he answered, beaming upon me. And what have you done with it? I have given it to Azmo, the brickmaker, who told me he was traveling over the passage, and in Tyre he would buy for me rare jewels of the Phoenicians. When he returns, we shall sell these at high price and divide the earnings. Every fool must learn, he growled. But why trust the knowledge of a brickmaker about jewels? Would you go to the brickmaker to inquire about the stars? No. By my tunic, you would go to the astrologer if you had the power to think. Your savings are gone, youth. You have jerked your wealth tree up by the roots. But plant another. Try again. And next time, if you would have advice about jewels, go to the jewel merchant. If you would know the truth about the sheep, go to the herdsman. Advice is one thing that is freely given away, but watch then you take only what is worth having. He who takes advice about his saving from one who is inexperienced in such matters shall pay with his savings for proving the falsity of their opinions. Saying this, he went away. And it was as he said, for the Phoenicians are scoundrels, and sold to Azma worthless bits of glass that looked like gems. But as Algamish had bid me, I again saved each 10th copper, for I now had formed a habit, and it was no longer difference. Again 12 months later, Algamish came to the room of the scribes and addressed me. What progress have you made since last I saw you? I have paid myself faithfully, I replied, and my saving I have entrusted to Aga, the sandal-maker, to buy bronze, and which first month he does pay me the rental. That's good. And what do you do with the rental? I do have a great feast with honey and fine wine and spiced cake. And I have bought me a scarlet tunic, and someday I shall buy me a young ass upon which to ride. To which Algamash laughed. You do eat the children of your savings. Then how do you expect them to work for you? And how can they have children that will also work for you? First get thee an army of golden slaves, and then many a rich banquet may you enjoy without regret. So saying, he again went away. Nor did I again see him for 2 years, when he once more returned, and his face was full of deep line, and his eyes drooped, for he was becoming a very old man. And he said to me, Akkad, hast thou yet achieved the wealth thou dreamed of? And I answered, not yet all that I desire, but some I have, and it earns more, and its earnings earn more. And do you still take advice the brickmakers? And the brickmaking they give good advice? I retorted. Akkad, he continued, you have earned your lessons well. You first learned to live upon less than you could learn. Next, you learned to seek advice from those who were competent through their own experience to give it. And lastly, you have learned to make gold work for you. You have taught yourself how to acquire money, how to keep it, and how to use it. Therefore, you are competent for a responsible position. I am becoming an old man. My sons think of your spending and give no thought to earning. My interests are great, and I fear too much for me to look after. If you will go to Nipper and look after my land there, I shall make you my partner, and you shall share in my estate. So I went to Nipper and took charge of his holdings, which were large. And because I was full of ambition, and because I had mastered the 3 laws of successfully handling wealth, I was unable to increase greatly the value of his properties. So I propose much, and when I spirit of Algamish departed for the sphere of darkness, I did sail in his estate, as he had arranged under the law. So spake Akkad, and when he had finished his tale, one of his friends said, You were indeed fortunate that Algamash made of you an heir.